Mr. Money, will you please escort Mr. Washington off the court? Take him down the block. And if this dreadlock bumberaz even blinks wrong, you lullaby his ass.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
Twitter's stupid, and Instagram is Twitter for people who can't read.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
Armchair.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Let me sum it up.
If you're looking for gifts or stuff for yourself from all teams, from all sports, it's MVP Collectibles. The St. Augustine Outlets Mall. Suite 245 across from the food court. MVP Collectibles has all 32 NFL teams, every SEC, every ACC, teams from the Big Ten, and 10 different Major League Baseball teams. That's MVP Collectibles. It's where the Armchair quarterbacks can be found just before game day to get our man cave popping no matter what team you love.
Cool. Wizard versus nerd.
Strike you down with my spell.
No, science is the answer.
Whoa, heard Maddie's back. Walked in and barked out, whose daddy is that? They talk that shit talk like this. I bite, get bucked, they'll bark like a fish. 6'6", get this name built like him. Fish grits, hot sauce, I lick my lips. The dirty south, I earned it with the word of mouth. You learning now, no I'm the one you heard about. Might pop out with Demi Lovato. Ain't got no matter in Serato. Me speak, they speak, definition hot cold. Me and my bros, Rambos in the foxhole. Big ball ran him over with the Tahoe. That's how it goes when you fast forward. Everybody go ring till your toes go. Open up the door, now I wonder where your clothes go. Woo! I'm a nasty guy, that's me, miss class, don't ask her why. Call professor on the phone, then I passed the $5,000 on the slide, just pass the guy. Like do my thing, said woo, 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 hey.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Ma. No, I'm still in, where are we?
Wisconsin.
Canada.
Are you from Ireland?
Boston.
I've never been to Pennsylvania.
Boston's in Massachusetts.
The flyover states.
And not as geographically diverse as this region. I think I might have seen a hill back there.
Boston, huh? Did you see The Departed? Or should I say The Departed?
That's convincing. I would have thought you were from Southie.
So do you know Mark Wahlberg?
He's actually my neighbor.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How about Matt Damon?
Matt Damon mows my lawn.
How does he find the time?
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. You got the NBA Game 2, the finals, tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern on ABC. The series is still out in Phoenix with game number 3 headed back to Milwaukee. We've actually got a pretty good slate for a Thursday afternoon in Major League Baseball. The New York Yankees, 4 o'clock Eastern. They're at the Mariners to conclude their series. And at 8 Eastern, you got the Phillies and Cubs. That's the ESPN game of the night. At 12:10, Dodgers at Marlins. Clayton Kershaw versus Sandy Alcantara. At 2 o'clock, A's and Astros. Frankie Montas and Lance McCullers. The Rockies are at the D-backs with Chichi Gonzalez taking the hill. And the Blue Jays, Alex Manoah, the rookie phenom in his 2.7 ERA. He's at Baltimore taking on Keegan Allen. Kansas City Royals, Danny Duffy, 7:10 Eastern. They are at Cleveland. Zach Plesac comes back from the IL. The Pittsburgh Pirates are at the New York Mets for 4. JT Brubaker and Taijuan Walker are set to go head-to-head. At 8:10, it's the Reds and Brewers, Tyler Mahle and Adrian Hauser. And ESPN Plus, Tigers and Twins, Tarek Schoolball is on the hill. And at 9:10, the Washington Nationals are at the San Diego Padres. Max Scherzer, Yu Darvish, get your popcorn ready. Major League Soccer gets going at 8 Eastern on ESPN Plus. The New York Red Bulls are at the Philadelphia Union. And the Nashville Soccer Club at 8:30 on ESPN Plus. They head to Atlanta to take on United FC. And that's your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Hey everybody, it's Harry Carey for the Armchair Quarterbacks. Get yourself a cold Budweiser every Saturday morning and join in the fun and watch the neighborhood play. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. They talk about my Cubbies. It's Joey Areola, Christian Pledge. He's a White Sox fan, but we'll give him a pass. Hey, why do they call it White Sox? Their jerseys always look very dirty to me. Sounds like something that could be cancel culture to me. Let's look into that, Cubbies fans. It's the neighborhood play, only on the YouTube channel Armchair Quarterback Show. Harry Carey signing off. Seeing double, because I'm ordering triples. Go Cubbies and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Joey Areola.
Good morning, Mac. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Champa Bay is lit up once again. They just don't stop that thing from going.
Hi, I'm Mac McGinn. I don't know much, but I know one thing. The Cubs finally got a win for the first time since I think the last time I talked to you. Or hell before then. My God. What the hell is going on in Chicago? You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
I love working for Uncle Sam.
I love working for Uncle Sam.
Lets me know just who I am.
Lets me know just who I am.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
My Corps.
My Corps.
Your Corps.
Your Corps.
Our Corps.
Our Corps.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee and Joey Areola here with you on a beautiful Thursday morning here on the First Coast-ish. At least Elsa's got the hell away from us. Joey, how the hell are you?
Oh, it's a good day. I'm like you said, I'm finally wearing my Cubs shirt. Might be one of the last times of the year, but it's a good day. You know, got to win. We got a lot to talk about. Glad to be here once again.
Yeah, congratulations. The Cubs finally won and the Braves finally won on the same day. Whoopity-doo.
That doesn't happen much.
They're heading to the series, baby. Let's go. I have full confidence in both of those managers. They're doing a fine job. Why am I wearing this corn puckle hat, whatever the hell you want to call this thing? I'm headed to a concert tonight for the first time since the pandemic. Brad Paisley is in Jacksonville heading to the Brad Paisley concert tonight. So me and the wife are looking forward to that. Have you been to a concert since the pandemic has been?
Plenty of sporting events between baseball and wrestling, but not not a concert just yet. Where's it at for you?
It's here in Jacksonville. It's called Daly's Place. It's a new venue that they opened up. I want to say they opened it just before the pandemic hit. It's kind of like I haven't been to it to see a concert, but from my understanding, it's an outdoor arena type deal, and we got pretty good tickets because her boss hooked us up. So kudos to him.
Have a good time with that.
Yeah, she was trying to explain to me where we are. I'm like, where? She goes, and she started explaining. I was like, am I near beer? I'll be fine. No, I really don't know what the stadium's like, and I had never heard of the opening acts. So I'm hoping for traffic on the way down. I just want to see Paisley. I don't care about the other junk.
Get there right in time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The Tampa Bay Lightning, world champions, as back-to-back champs. And is it marred in any way because the first year was the pandemic year to you?
Honestly, if it was just a solo championship, potentially, just because it was such an awkward year. But I think with winning it back-to-back years, and honestly, about 3 years ago, they had one of the best teams too and just got upset. So I don't really put in an asterisk or
we don't
marking.
refer to the Columbus Blue Jackets with good favor around here.
Yeah, I try not to say the name. I try to keep it under the DL. But you know what? I think they've proven themselves. I consider them closer to a dynasty than a fluke in my eyes, because I know they got to get one more for that to happen. But I just see so much great things happening with this Lightning organization. It's hard for me to mark up anything too much.
And I'll tell you what, they did it in dominant fashion. It wasn't like they squeaked through here. I mean, they knocked them out 4-1. They were never really I don't really remember thinking at any point that I thought Tampa Bay was in any kind of danger throughout the entire playoff series. And as well as last year, they've been very dominant. Now they have been able to maneuver some stuff around the salary cap, and I know a lot of people are angry about the way that they did it but really, I mean, if you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at the NHL. Don't be mad at the Lightning for taking advantage of the rules. So I gotta just basically say that this is one of the more impressive runs we've seen in professional sports in a while, to get back-to-back champs. I think of like the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
And you don't get it much in hockey. Now, basketball, we all know that if you have the best player or players and you can keep them together for a few years, there's usually back-to-back titles coming around, right? The Celtics, the Lakers, Pistons, the Bulls, they all did it because they had back-to-back champs because they have dominant rosters. But it'll be interesting to see how much of this Tampa Bay team they can keep together. They are going to lose some people because of the cap, but this team looks like that they could very well be on their way to yet another championship next year. This is, of course, Tampa Bay's third title overall. So, and then of course the Bucks, it's their turn. So ball's in your court, Buccaneers, because the Tampa Bay Lightning have reached the pinnacle once again. How about this story coming out? Zach Wilson is offering his mom money to get off of Instagram. So for people who are not aware of this, Zach Wilson's mom is very vocal on Instagram, and I think Zach was realizing that his mom being on Instagram is going to cause him issues. Of course, Zach Wilson's the brand new New York quarterback for the Jets, right? He's going to be in the limelight anyways, but this takes it to another level because Zach Wilson's mom has gone so he's offered her money to get the hell off of social media, and this takes it to another level of narcissism where she says that she will not do it because of people are looking forward to her Instagram posts to get out of bed in the morning that are keeping them not depressed. And okay, this is like beyond psychotic, okay? Even if it's true, even if there is someone out there that it's telling you that, is inboxing you that, you don't put that out there. You don't say that. You know what I do for this world? I make sure people don't off themselves because I'm that great. People look forward to my. I don't even know what she posts.
I saw that because after
it doesn't look like they're like sexy nudes or anything like that. So it's nothing like that that's embarrassing them. But from my understanding, that she shoots her mouth off a lot.
I got sick of her. I looked her up yesterday for a minute, and she had a big problem with Disney World or Disneyland because of the mask rule, and she said it was too hot out. And she created the word mask holes for all of their employees, and was just going off on social media saying how her family shouldn't have to be put through that, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, holy crap, I feel bad for Zach Wilson because he seems to be an under-the-radar guy for being a top pick, and this does not help his cause, in New York especially.
Yeah, so the thing about her is, well, first of all, with them coming from Utah, we know there's going to be a religious aspect out there, right? Of it, and I believe she leans into that a little bit, but I think what was more concerning to him is that I think she does post like what you're referring to that kind of can be looked upon as somewhat political, right? And I think that's what he's worried about. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to play quarterback for the Jets. If you'll just stop it.
It's hard enough.
Right. It's harder to play quarterback in the National Football League in the city of New York without you coming in and shooting your mouth off. And then for her just to be that, I mean, that over the top of, well, I'm keeping people from I'm living, they're living a better life because I'm on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
What? I'm trying to find it. Let's see if I can find the old post, but everything that I'm pulling up is just pictures on Instagram. So I know that there has been some posts that she's done, and she has actually blocked some people on New York sports radio because they brought up how kind of like off the wall she is, that they didn't add her, but she's paying attention, so she's blocking them. So I'm assuming we'll be blocked very soon.
Not a bad thing.
So someone through the grapevine is gonna say, "Hey, you know what? The armchair quarterback's like, what the hell's an armchair quarterback? Doesn't matter. I'm blocking them." You know.
Delete. See you later.
In fact, if I think about it at the commercial break, I'm gonna jump in front of this. I'm gonna block her before she can block us.
Let's do it. Let's start it.
That's how that goes down.
Deuces.
So, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, this is just an incredible story. We'll see how far it goes, because they're going to be opening up camps. What are we? We're at the 8th of July. So next week, late next week, early into the following week is when they'll start opening up camps. We're only, y'all, about 3 weeks away from the first NFL preseason game. Man, does that not sound good to your ears, right?
Oh, thank God, especially with our baseball teams.
Yeah, look, exactly. The NHL is over. NBA is coming to an end by the end of next week. And you're going to catch your breath, and then here will be football season. And by the way, NBA, this is a perfect lead-in to your off season. Do this every year, you stupid ass. Or if you're going to come back and you get up by June, NHL, do it this way. Lead into the NFL season, you stupid ass, and you will have something there. I know it's hard to take me seriously, you know, with this hat on, but still, I mean, come on. How many times do I have to beat them over the head over this? Maria Taylor, Rachel Nichols thing. It's coming out as a rumor and hasn't been substantiated yet, so I can't sit out there and call it fact. But it looks like that she, or her team, as they always say, her team, her squad, most likely leaked that audio and has been waiting to pull the hair trigger. If it's that calculated, I figure it's got to be her. If it's not her, then it's her agent, right?
Right.
Because they're doing this 3 weeks before her contract comes up. And you talk about calculated to try to be able to get your money, because what works out well for her, and I don't know if this was already by design or if this is just the way it falls, but Sean had brought it up. I looked into it yesterday. Her contract is coming up for renewal. She turned down the $5 million last year because she's looking for Stephen A. Smith type of money. But what's so calculated about, I know it's asinine. It's like you're a pimple on the ass of ESPN, and Stephen A., whether you love him, hate him, whatever, dude's been around for 20 something years on ESPN, has pulled his weight. This reminds me of when I can remember years ago, country music stars getting pissed off at like Billy Ray Cyrus because he came shooting up the gap and got really popular really fast. He didn't, as they always say, pay his dues. And then of course he flamed out. And this reminds me of that kind of thing where you haven't paid your dues, you haven't played in the dive bars, all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, along the way, this is the number one dive bar at ESPN. But anyways, when I think about that, and I think about her, this is pretty calculated because college football season is less than 2 months away. So her contract's going to end at the end of July, I believe is what it is. So if they do decide to say, I'm not paying you $8 million because you're not worth it, then they got to figure out who they're going to put on their college football show, because she is a part of it. Now, I do firmly believe you can put just about anyone up there and it'll be fine. She's not Kirk Herbstreit. Even Corso in his, state that he's in nowadays. I don't want to pile on Corso, but his mental faculties definitely aren't there. She does. Kirk Herbstreit's the star of that show. She's trying to get paid like she's the star of ESPN.
No.
Right. And so, I mean, if it's me, and I had forgotten about this, Sean brought it up yesterday. Kerry Champion pulled the same thing, and they said kick rocks, and Kerry Champion's no longer with ESPN. And I'd totally forgotten about this. Like, now that you bring it up, Kerry Champion's not with the ESPN. I remember reading that blurb a long time ago, and she went off with Jamel Hill, and how'd that work out? don't hang your wagon to that star.
No, do not.
But I guess the point of this negotiating ploy, do you think it's going to work?
See, you never know with ESPN. I hope it wouldn't work, honestly. There's nothing worse than I'm just saying overpaying for someone that doesn't deserve the money. I mean, Stephen A. Smith type money. Come on now. Like you said, love him or hate the guy. He's been there forever, and seniority matters, and people listen to the guy. This lady
absolutely matter. Well, I don't even know seniority is the word, but she's been there long enough to build a brand.
Right? Exactly.
She doesn't have a brand. I don't see her anymore. Maybe they ran her off too. But when I think of ESPN women that have a brand, I think of Linda Cohn.
I was thinking of her right away.
There's others that are building a brand, and she's definitely one of them. Rachel Nichols has kind of built herself a brand.
She did.
Now, I'm not a fan of hers.
No.
But she's been around long enough to where I can understand why she's upset. I can totally get it. Just because I'm not a fan of her, that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of other fans of her, right? And so she has built a brand. Stephen A. Smith has built a brand. Linda Cohn has built a brand. Obviously, Boomer and, Tom Jackson and just all, the litany of ones that have been around. You've got to be on there more than just a few years. I think the rule would be you couldn't have built your brand on ESPN if you haven't had to have some kind of surgery by now. if you're young enough where everything is in place and you look great rolling out of bed, you
didn't do it.
You ain't built a brand yet. You know what I mean?
What I mean,
Kane built a brand, even though he was rarely on. He still built a brand.
Exactly, and I mean, no offense, she's not a voice that you're gonna be like, damn, there's something missing to it if she goes away. Is that really worth that big of money?
She's pleasant, and you
right.
You like
she's a nice lady. Nothing wrong.
Well, we think, but
we think. Okay.
This is calculated. This is Zach Mom crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm telling you right now, if it comes out that Maria Taylor did this is Zach Mom crazy.
Well, yeah, then she's not a nice lady.
Because then it's like, well, this is calculated. This is almost like Dr. Evil kind of stuff where you're like, wow, you had this audio a year ago and you said, I'm going to hold on to this sucker. You know why? Because I got a contract coming up and it's going to hit just as and if she's coming up with this, I'm telling you, there's a team of people and someone will eventually leak it.
And that is twisted because, like, I hate to ever bring up politics, but what do people do? Always wait until, it's time to get in. Then all these stories come out. So if she did that, shame on her, and that's twisted. So
exactly. Boo!
That's God. I hope it's.
And once again, I'm actually, if gun to my head, if you ask me 2 weeks ago, who do you like better? I would have said Maria Taylor over Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Just because I have never gotten that. I mean, Rachel comes off really phony.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of her stuff she does, it's almost sickening sweet, but you can almost like hear the gears grinding. You're like, watch your back with that one. But so it's not like I'm jumping all over Maria saying I'd rather have Rachel doing NBA, because realistically, I don't care. But I get it, man. I mean, you build a brand like that. We've built a brand. It might be generic. It might be a generic brand, might be all, at the bottom of the shelf that you're looking at when you go to Armchair Quarterbacks. You're like, where is it? Okay, there's those cheap bastards down there. But we've built a brand.
Hey, people like saving their money and getting that discount, baby. They're buying our product all day long.
We're the Jack Cola of sports talk radio. Yeah, baby, that's a brand.
It's better than that bottle nobody buys because they know it's overpriced and collects dust at the liquor store.
At least they know how to pronounce it. At least it's not like that one soda or whatever that you're looking at. Dude, I don't even know how to pronounce this. I'm not buying it. You know how to pronounce Czech Cola. You throw it in the thing. Or what's the one that made me laugh the other day? I don't even know who makes this. Armchair Quarterbacks sports talk show is the Dr. Bob of sports talk.
Wow.
Did you see it? Have you seen that one before?
No, I have not.
As opposed to Dr. Pepper, it's Dr. Bob.
No way.
And when I saw that, I was like, man, that is totally us, man.
The Dr. Bob Show.
I'm looking for Dr. Pepper. Dr. Bob. All right. Well, what's the worst that could happen? Let's try it.
It's a little flat.
That really should be our logo. The Dr. Bob logo.
Sign me up for that.
Okay, your picks against the spread today. What are we doing? Where are we going? I mean, obviously you got to go baseball. Well, I guess you could go basketball today.
You know, I'm very tempted to hop on the Milwaukee Bucks money line tonight. I am. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I was thinking about.
Give me 1 second.
No problem. And why you say that? I'll
plus 180. The Bucks. They're getting 5.5 points.
I'm tempted to take that money line because I think Milwaukee Bucks are the Dr. Jekyll, high team, but I screwed that phrase up. But they're the team that always could have a very bad game, then come out well the next one. They started off well last week. Giannis got a little tired at the end, but for baseball wise, I think I'm going to go with the Cleveland Indians today. Partly because I got Zach Plesac in fantasy as well, coming off the IL. They're home.
Big one. I've got him as well.
Yeah, they're home against Kansas City. So I would take Milwaukee money line for basketball, and I'm going Cleveland Indians run line for baseball.
All right, I'm going to go with this is a little strangely low to me, so I've got to pull the trigger on this. The Yankees are starting to feast on the lower teams, and they're getting their brains beaten by like the Red Sox and Rays, right?
Yep.
Well, they're on the road again, and they've been giving it to the Mariners. I'm going to take them once again, minus 140 on the money line, 4:10 Eastern start. Jordan Montgomery up against Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert's a fine young pitcher, but I think the Yankees will find a way to hammer it home. If I was going to go with the second one that's very, very tempting, if you want something that's almost like a given, the Mets minus 185, Walker's on the mound for the Mets, going up against the Pirates. And no, I don't care what a Braves fan tries to tell you this week. The Pirates aren't any good.
I watched that 1-1 game, and then I was so pissed because I was rooting for you too the other night. I was like, Jesus, the damn Pirates are getting wins now.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And the way I look at it with all these people that follow, follow us on Twitter and vice versa in the Braves nation, man, they just they really are pie in the sky, think we are what we were last year type of team, and we're not. The Atlanta Braves suck, dude. They are just, you can't have a terrible bullpen and have two of your major bats missing and think that you're the same team that you were last year. And it's will they scuffle around and possibly compete all summer? Maybe. And if something happens, like the Mets get like the injury bug or whatever, could they compete? Maybe, but I'm not betting on that. They made it this far, got me to the All-Star break. I'm ready for football season, man. I mean,
amen.
I'm going to be watching the rest of baseball, but as far as the Braves, I've decided yesterday, I was like, I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I'm just going to have it on. I'm going to listen to another audio because it pisses me off so much when I listen to these idiots sit there and talk about, oh, well, this team just gets hot. They just do this. How are we going to get hot when the bullpen ERA is one of the worst in the National League? You can't get hot through that, especially when one of your best hitters is about to come up on charges from MLB. He's going to get suspended for the rest of the year. He's gone. Yep. And then one of your other better hitters, your catcher, has been missing in action, and the catching situation's so bad, they brought up Jonathan Lucroy yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
When's the last time
he's still in the league?
Well, he is now. He's been on their minor league system. They sent the kid Contreras down to the minors because they're like, dude, you're 2 for your last 31. You suck behind the plate. You got to go down and learn your craft. And so I'd say a lot of this is more of the Braves' fault, but there are other players. You can't have El Monte hitting fifth in your lineup and go, we're a playoff contender. No, you're not. You're not even a division contender. You're not even a contender for the upper part of your division. Right now, you're barely better than the Marlins. And we played 3 on the road in Miami this weekend. We'll see if they win that series. I would be shocked. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns Day. We've got that and a lot more ahead here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Keep it locked in here to CBS Sports Radio and our YouTube Live Armchair Quarterbacks.
You're riding Morning Shotgun with the Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here weekdays on WAOC 96.5 FM, 1420 AM, and streaming on the Armchair Quarterbacks app. Download it today. Your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup. Out of the zone, the Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup. A dream has come true. They score with 28.8 seconds left. The Leafs have tied the game. McCarty draws. McCarty in. McCarty scores. To go.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio, covering the NHL like no other.
What's going on here, guys? All right, coach. So basically, it was a holding call. But these dudes started me in their fantasy league, which is cool because this dude started our quarterback, but he started our kicker and I started their defense. So it's kind of a pickle. Compromising the integrity of this game with your fantasy football leagues? Listen to me. If there was holding, you make that holding call. I don't care if it was on our team or not. I care about this game too much to let you. Coach, you started their defense too, didn't you? Yeah, you definitely started their defense. Damn right I did.
Armchair. If only the world was less like this.
I could use a smoke.
Hey, put that out.
And more like this.
I could use a smoke.
You murderer! I might have children one day.
Smoking kills, unless you kill first. If you're around a smoker, you will die. Smokers may look relaxed and like they're having fun. Don't believe it. Vote yes on Proposition 421. Let's outlaw smoking everywhere, even in people's homes, and allow honest citizens to legally kill anyone who smokes. Let's live in a world without smokers. Prohibition works. Let's prove it. Vote yes on Proposition 421. Armchair.
Let's face it, where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on. That's why I go to mybookie.ag. It's fast, it's easy, and they pay you when you win. Look, I wouldn't be telling you to bet mybookie.ag if they weren't the best. Do the smart thing. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with mybookie.ag. Promo code SKIN. That's SKIN. When you use that promo code, MyBookie will match 100% of your deposit up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SKIN.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Woo! Yeah!
Let's go, baby! First concert since the pandemic, and it's Cleveland Browns Day.
Man, are you looking good in those glasses?
Rock and roll never dies, baby! All right. Let's go ahead and dive into the...
Forget my coffee. I'm jammed up now.
I'm going to see if I can actually see in these things. I don't know if I can or not. It's not looking good for the home team right now, but we're going to see if I can actually see in these damn things. They're supposed to be prescription, but man, that's not looking good. I can't do this.
Yeah, you tried.
I tried, man. I tried. prescription my ass, and there's like a one blurry line, and I guess that's what you're supposed to read through. I'm like, oh, okay, you say so. All right, back to old man radio.
Old man River.
Man, I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Browns, they had some exciting things that happened during the offseason. I meant to hit play when I got up. That whole thing that I pulled up wasn't just supposed to be their schedule and it's supposed to be the schedule, draft picks, free agents, all that junk. And I screwed that up by the time I realized that we were coming out of break. But anyways, long story short, the Cleveland Browns here in 2021, I'll tell you what, I think this is a team that could possibly compete for it all. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with that point you just made. They obviously last year had a nice win in the playoffs against Pittsburgh, came up short at Kansas City, who went obviously to the Super Bowl. And if Baker Mayfield continues to improve and, they can keep people healthy, I really see it hard for them. They built something there. I said it once. I love when they hired their coach that came from Minnesota, obviously. And, they added some good pieces in the draft, a couple local guys from the Illinois area / Notre Dame. So I really like their roster going into this 2021 season.
Look, when you look at the fact that OBJ is coming back, okay,
correct.
That alone is going to give you a boost. And then to top that off, they did re-sign Rashad Higgins, which and didn't even cost him much, but he was integral part of the offense last year. You obviously still have Landry, you got Peoples-Jones, and then of course the running back core is still essentially Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But you look over on the defensive side of the ball,
that defensive line. Whew.
Oh, they add Jadeveon Clowney, and we'll see if he can be better than what he was. He was not very good in Tennessee last year, to say the least, but we'll see if he can get some kind of a resurgence. And then across the board, defense was what they went into on the NFL draft this year. They only spent 3 of their picks on offense, and none of them was before the 3rd round. The rest of it was what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that they added to the defense via the draft.
Yeah. And I was pretty familiar with the 2 first picks, Greg Newsome out of Northwestern, being a Big Ten guy and around the Midwest. I watch a decent amount of their ball, so I like him. And then the linebacker, Jeremiah, I can never pronounce his 2 last names there, so I won't even try. But out of Notre Dame.
Karamawa. Owusu Karamawa.
I like that. I'll stick with that.
I'll tell you what, he was high up on the pre-draft boards. Now, they got him in the 2nd round, but he was really high because when we were doing all of our mock drafts, I mean, this guy was extremely high up on the board. And of course he came from Notre Dame, but whether people saw him play or not, he was one of the more dominant players on a very good Notre Dame defense.
He won the Dick Butkus Award too.
Exactly. So you add him and you add, like I said, there were 8 total play. I said draft picks, but it was college football free agents / draft picks. 8, they added 8 guys from the draft essentially. And this team should be like ready to look. This is a team that almost came back and beat Kansas City.
Yes.
For which would have took them to the AFC Championship game. So they were basically one break away from the AFC Championship game being Cleveland versus Buffalo. And how different would that have made the world? Because I think Cleveland would have beaten Buffalo as well. And can you imagine the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the dog pound.
Oh, man. So I think that they're not that far away. The Cleveland Browns, to me, are a team that if you took them as a dark horse and you said, look, I know you think I'm crazy, but I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I couldn't crap on that theory because they are a team that is just a couple of plays away this year or this past year Will they break through the ceiling? That's the thing. Can they get past the Chiefs? Can they get past, obviously what you really want to do is make sure you win your division. And that's arguably the toughest division in football. When you've got the Steelers, assuming that they have something back with Big Ben, you've got the Ravens in that division. And then even the Bengals that are looked upon as a lowly team, they are a team that for a young squad, they've got a pretty good roster.
If Burrow's healthy, they could do some damage.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any gimme games in that division. So when we look at the actual Cleveland Browns schedule, as I'm pulling it up right now, they start off now their preseason real quick, just to throw it at people. If you live in the area, you can go see them live. They're playing preseason in Jacksonville, first game on the 14th. They're at home against the Giants, and then they're at the Falcons. Okay. So if you get 2 road games in preseason, that means that you're going to get the extra home game in the regular season. So you like that if you're a Chiefs fan. They go back to the scene of the crime last year, same bat time, same bat channel, 4:25 Eastern kickoff. And I would love to know why my ESPN, I'm pulling it up and everything's on Pacific time this morning for whatever damn reason. It's driving me nuts. I have to do all the math in my head.
You can't keep it simple.
And it's only on one device. And I thought maybe it was like a VPN, but I checked my VPN and it's in New Jersey. So I'm like, well, that's not it. So I don't know what the hell's going on with this. But so bear with me if I don't have the times exactly right, because I have to do that. But they start at the Chiefs. It is the mid-afternoon game. It's the game of the week, so to speak.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the way that works is that will follow. Well, at least they have in years past. They might be doing it differently, but they used to always do the U.S. Open's championship was on that Sunday, but I think they might have moved that because it's not. CBS does that unless they lost the rights to that. But the point is, who gives a damn about the tennis part? They're going to be playing 4:25 Eastern. After that, you get the Texans and Bears at home. After those 3 games, I've got them 2-1. What say you?
Man, I wanna say 3-0, and I think I'm honestly going to do it.
Really?
I know Kansas City had the Super Bowl loss, but when you usually lose a game like that in a heartbreaker in a playoff game, that leaves a very bad taste in your mouth. And I think all they've thought about this offseason is Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. So I actually got them 3-0 right off the bat.
We haven't done well. Doug and I did the Chiefs, but we'll talk more about it when we get to our NFL predictions week. Man, Kansas City added a lot to that offensive line. I think they're going to be hell on wheels. But okay, so you got them 3-0. I got them 2-1. Keep up with yours because I'm gonna have a hard time keeping up with mine.
No problem.
All right, they're at the Vikes, at the Chargers, and home against the Cardinals. I got them winning. I think they'll take 2 or 3.
So do I, to put it at 5-1 for me.
Okay, so I've got them sitting at 4-2 at this point. And so then they've got the Broncos and the Steelers at home back to back. And it looks like that Broncos game is a Thursday night game. And then the Steelers will be 10 days later. So you're going to have a short turnaround between the Cardinals and the Broncos game, and then you're going to be at home against the Steelers. Okay. And then a week later, they'll be at the Bengals. So I believe they're going to lose that Cincinnati game because division games are tough. I also believe they'll beat the Steelers at home. That Broncos game is going to be tricky because of the short turnaround, but it is in Cleveland. So I've got them going 2-1 once again.
Yeah, I have them going 2-1 as well, which will put them at 7-2 for me.
Which losses?
I actually have them losing home against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh will get their payback after the playoffs last year and stick a little salt in their wound. So 7-2 after 9.
So no love and no respect for the Bengals. Brian heard that. So
hey, I might have them upset them on the road. Never know. Week 18.
Okay, so I've got them at 6-3, and you have them where?
7-2.
Okay, so then they're at the Patriots, at home against the Lions, and at the Baltimore Ravens. That's a tough stretch. Well, it's a good sandwich to have the Lions in between, but I really think the Lions are going to be better than a lot of people expect because I think they're going to be a real gritty team. I think they're going to be a team that's going to play very tough defense. That Baltimore game is going to be tough. That looks like that's a Sunday night game at the Patriots. By then, I think it's going to be Mac Jones. That's a tough stretch. I think they're going to find a way to go 1-2 in that stretch. So I've got them now at 7-5. What say you?
Yeah, and I got them going 2-1 as well, which would put them at
3 losses at this point.
Yeah, 9-3. 9-3.
See, so you got them 9-3. I've got them 7-5. All right, and now we get towards the back end of the season. What was the last game we did? The Ravens. Okay, so we'll do these last 4. At home against the Raiders, at the Packers, at the Steelers, and home against the Bengals. Assuming they need all of these wins, I think the Cleveland Browns will go 3-1 in that stretch, and that will make them 10-6 on the season. What say you?
And I have them going 1-3 in that stretch.
Whoa!
Yes. So now my win total on them went from, and I believe. Wait. So are you 10-7 then, or 11-6?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said 10, but I meant 11-6.
Okay, so you're 11-6, and now I jumped on the same bandwagon as you to be at 11-6 as well. I was a game ahead of you, but now since I went 1-3, we both have them finishing at 11-6, just in different ways.
The one loss that I see them going down the stretch and losing that there would be at the Steelers. It says ESPN, so I'm assuming that's a Monday night game. That's going to be tough, but and it's really, we all know it's impossible to predict these things because injuries, et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm looking at here is the Raiders. They should win that game. The Packers, by that time, if Aaron Rodgers is even on the roster, I think he's checked out and not even on the field. And then the Bengals game at home, if they actually need that thing to win, 11-6, I can just see them seeing that. And honestly, in a 17-game season, 11-6, I think might win you the division. If it doesn't, it's going to have you in the conversation. And it's definitely going to get you in the playoffs because 7 teams are getting in each conference now. So the playoffs are going to be set where you've got to, what do you have? 4 wild cards? If you're 11-6, I would think 11-6 bare minimum get you a wild card.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this team, if they miss the playoffs, it's an utter disaster. It's a fail. Even if they lose one playoff game, they added on, and if healthy,
the only way they don't make the playoffs if something terrible happens to like a Baker Mayfield or something. Right?
Of course, anytime you lose a quarterback, or if they lost Garrett and a couple other guys and their defense is depleted, but all big things aside, they should be a playoff team.
Who is, if you take Baker Mayfield out of the equation, and we all know that they're going to go as far as he can get them, you take him out of the equation, put him off to the side, compartmentalize him. Who's outside of Baker Mayfield, who's the most important player on the Cleveland Browns this year to you?
I'm honestly going to go Nick Chubb at the running back position, and I'll say it for a couple of reasons. Number one, we saw when they lose Odell Beckham that engine still runs. Could it be better when he's healthy? Of course, but they have some depth there, and they have good tight ends with Austin Hooper. I think though, if you lose Nick Chubb, and I know they have Kareem Hunt at backup, but he's not an every down back to me. Obviously, at this stage in his career, and Chubb does a lot of the hard pounding. And let's face it, come playoff time, you need someone who can gut it out while Kansas City and Buffalo try to throw it all over the place. So I do think I was almost going to say Garrett because of how impactful he is, but I'm going to go Nick Chubb just because without him, I think the running game becomes stagnant and then everyone can prepare for the pass and Baker could get a little iffy there.
I think I'm going to have to go Myles Garrett for a couple of reasons. A, if Jadeveon Clowney can do anything, he's going to free up some Myles Garrett, right? And
Correct.
then the other thing would be if Chubb does go down, they do have Kareem Hunt. So it's not gloom and doom. Now they also have D'Ernest Johnson and a couple other guys that that they drafted. So I don't know if they're convinced in the depth behind Kareem, but Odell Beckham Jr. to me is a guy that just doesn't show up on the regular. That he's a guy, he's hit or miss. He'll have a big game, but then he's like non-existent for 3 games. So I really think this defense, if they're going to take that next step, this defense has got to they got to have a leader, and that leader I think is Myles Garrett. He's 2 years removed from that cheap shot that he took on Rudolph, and he can quit trying to pretend like it was some race baiting thing or whatever the hell tried to make up, and the story fell apart at the seams. His story sounded like Pasaki doing a freaking standing up there talking to the media on a daily basis, like, when's the president going to speak? That's racist. Don't ask that. That's racist.
And a quick note, really quick. I know we're going to move on from the Browns, but just because I know him so well, Anthony Walker, who will be starting at linebacker for them this year. Cleveland was depleted in that department. He's a good leader and a great tackler, not the best pass defender, but he's really going to help that locker room out, and he could really defend the rush. So I think that was a good addition to help that defense.
Well, I'll tell you something too. It's time for Denzel Ward to make his imprint, because he's a first-round draft pick back in 2018. He's been solid, but you want to see him take that next step. Okay, real quick, because we're going to run out of time. But we thought it'd be fun to talk about selling some Chicago Cubs and Atlanta Braves, getting rid of them. And what could you get for them? And who could you get for them? So I'll start off with you, so that if we can't get to mine, then fair enough. Who are you selling off first? Who's the first guy that goes?
Honestly, at this point, I think it's got to be Javier Baez.
Really?
He's number one. He's breaking records for years in strikeouts. His strikeout record right now is insane.
That's not the record you want.
No, it's literally I don't
test the dugout.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still got his 21 homers, his 60 RBIs, but he's batting 220 and his number one in strikeouts over I think he leads the past 5 seasons to this point in the All-Star break. He's clearly not learned to hit a high fastball. And I love his, he does the Pirates play we all know about. He does the crazy things. But to me, you're not paying a guy 150 to 200 million if he still can't lay off the high cheese.
So basically, if you're selling him, then you're choosing to keep Rizzo and Bryant together. Is that what you're thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking everybody besides Wilson Contreras. See you later.
Really? Even Rizzo?
Rizzo, he had the chance to take that 90 mil, and I thought the Cubs should give him 100. But to me, with his injuries that keep nagging him throughout seasons, missing games here and there, I think he'd be perfect in a Yankees uniform down the stretch if they think.
He absolutely would. He absolutely would. That's the one thing that the Yankees would love to have, is a power bat from the left side. And you might be able to get Luke Voit back maybe from it. I don't know.
Something.
I don't know if they would be willing to, Chris Bryant, where do you see him landing?
Man, I was trying to think of good landing spots for him, and he's in a contract year, so I guess the team doesn't have to fully re-sign him. This is kind of going to sound surprising, but since they don't have to sign him, would maybe the Tampa Bay Rays, with the farm system they have, just add a bat to their lineup just to get a rental fee?
They're so cheap, though. That's the only thing I don't know. I mean, they're so damn cheap.
I know.
I watch the Rays regularly. If I'm not watching Atlanta, I'm watching Tampa. But they're so damn cheap, and it's what drives me crazy as a Rays fan. And you get it. You know that they have restrictions because the fan base back there just does not. They don't support them.
Correct.
and I can't complain too much because I am within driving distance, but I'm not going to go 4 hours for a baseball game. It's just stupid.
Oh, no.
I don't go 4 hours for a football game.
No.
I wouldn't drive 4 hours for most Olympic events, and they only happen one every 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to have to be, I'm already there, and oh, by the way, I'm going to go. So, man, I just don't know if it depends on what Chicago would expect from for him.
Well, this is my.
They're already going to have to pay the rest of his salary, which is Tampa's cheap when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if I'm Chicago, I take a risk that Tampa's got something better in their bullpen. I mean, in their farm system than what other teams have. And I go, you know what? You're 17th ranked, whatever, dude. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on this guy.
Bingo.
Because, and obviously I'm sending my scouts down there to watch him because he's learned the Rays way, especially if I can get a pitcher from the Tampa system. I mean, they've got guys like Josh Fleming. They only allowed him to go 2 innings yesterday. And McHugh, it's ridiculous. I mean, they're ridiculously good. See, if you could get a Josh Fleming out of the deal, holy cow. This guy is ready to be a starter. They even slated him to start yesterday, and then they backtracked and made him the bulk. And then the first time he got a runner on base in the it was 2 2/3 inning into his appearance. It was like in the middle of the 5th or 6th inning, but he'd only pitched 2 2/3. They pulled him, and he's not like it's a guy who's not stretched out. He went 6 innings a couple of weeks ago. Like, what the hell are you doing? This guy's pitching phenomenal. Dumped his ass off of my fantasy team this morning. I was like, I can't have a guy that's supposed to be a starter go 2 innings.
There's nothing worse than that, and especially when they pitch well and they're like, see ya, you're getting pulled.
Yeah, because if you go 2 2/3 innings, what that means is they're not going to use you again for about another damn week. So
Exactly.
if you got fantasy, you're just screwed up that deal. So, yeah, I mean, if they could get anything out of that Tampa deal, out of that Tampa organization, we'll talk Braves tomorrow because we're essentially out of time. Let's go ahead and turn back time. I'll let Justin weigh in on it too. It might be a little better because I get a little too emotional. Here we go.
God damn it!
It's so frustrating.
It is
It's so frustrating to watch a team that has so much talent in its organization, and they're just piddling along with these jacklegs. And you're like, when the Ozuna thing goes down, the first thing I was thinking was, we'll see how serious they are, because if you really wanted to bring in a bat right now, you could lose one of your. The Braves are loaded in the outfield. They could have sent one of those guys to go get a bat. Chris Bryant now, but I'm thinking more of back then, like a Mitch Haniger or something. Someone,
Yep.
You playing out in Seattle, they're not going to make it. They would love to take on one of their guys. Give him a Kyle Wright. Be damn with done with this. I can quit seeing that guy show up once every 4 months so he can blow a game that you need. All right, turn back time. All right. On this date in 1965, this is hard to believe. Oh, it's the first Houston player. Okay. Joe Morgan is the first Houston player with 6 hits in a game. Now, he was playing for the Houston Colt 45s. I thought it said the first player. And I was like, 1965? They've been playing over almost 100 years at that point. Like, how the hell? Okay. Never mind. That was a stupid turn back time. How about this? At this date, 1978. I'm sure you remember it well. Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors go 6-2, 6-2, 6-3 as Borg wins his 3rd straight Wimbledon title. Do you watch tennis at all?
When my grandma sadly passed quite a few years back, and I would watch that with her. But since the Agassi days, not too much. I pay attention to Yall a little bit.
I've been watching quite a bit of it. I'm more into the women's side because the men's, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we never have any men that are worth a damn in the U.S. And then it's also, to me, it's just a more appealing game to watch from the women's side because there's more volleys and back and forth. I hate when turning over and seeing a bunch of aces is like watching a bunch of damn strikeouts. I don't want to see it.
Does Andy Roddick still play?
He did not play this year, I don't believe. If he did, he got bounced really.
That
early.
was the only U.S. guy I probably know well.
Pretty sure he retired. I think he retired last year during the pandemic, if memory serves. But I'm not like a diehard tennis fan, but I watch like it's like the golf majors to me.
Right.
I'll watch those. You're more likely to get me to watch a no-name tennis tournament before you get me to watch a no-name golf tournament, just because it's an athletic. I used to play tennis many LBs ago, and I enjoyed it thoroughly when I was a kid. So I grew up watching it.
Right.
And so, there was a stretch there where I didn't watch much of it, but I've been watching more and more over the last 4 or 5 years, and glad that I do. Cause I mean, when you get a good serve and volley, it's a very fun athletic thing to watch, but you really have to find a way. You got to find someone that you're going to pull for. And so I found that in Coco Golf. It's a long story, but essentially I met her dad over the phone. He was a really nice guy. And so I, have been pulling for her ever since. I was already a quasi Coco fan, but now I do pull for her. She was in the doubles. It was either the final 8 or the final 16 the other day, and I watched that, and I loved it. Man, doubles tennis is fun because ball's flying all over the damn place. Like, there's so much strategy in it. The doubles tennis is a lot of fun, but we'll get the finals on Saturday and Sunday this week, and of course the semifinals are going on today. Birthdays.
It's your birthday today.
All right, let's grab a dead guy.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this guy was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
In 1859. I'm sure you know him well.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. I mean, that's pre-Civil War. Hank O'Day, American Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher and manager and umpire. Umpired 10 World Series.
Holy.
Hank O'Day was died in 1935. But that's pretty impressive. It's also impressive guy that was born in 1859, lived to be 66. That's a pretty good run for back in those days.
God bless.
I mean, back then, like the thing that happened to me the other day where I tripped and fell and slammed into the wall and had a knife in my hand and all that stuff, that'd have killed a guy in 19.
How you feeling from that?
Head still sore. The wound is healing. It's not near as sore as it was. Thankfully, I didn't get any nervous damage. But
because I was like, holy crap.
A fall and trip like that would have killed someone back at 18.
Yeah. They didn't have to kill people off in China back then.
Go get me a towel. Goes, no, dude, I gotta take you out back. What? No, I'm gonna be fine, dude. Seriously, it's best for the town that you die now, because if you get some kind of gangrene and start some kind of plague, we're never gonna get the crops next.
We have a few too many people.
You got the sniffles back then. You probably kept your mouth shut, so you're like,
Sore to the throat. You got the sniffles.
They ain't gonna do that to me. By the way, speaking of tennis, happy 51st birthday. God, I would have thought he'd be older than that. Todd Martin. He was a tennis star, never won the big one, I don't believe. But I remember he was a star like in the late 80s. And it says here that he won the USTA boys title in 18. He's from Hinsdale, Illinois. Todd Martin was supposed to be like the next up and coming guy in the late 80s. And then I don't know what the hell happened to him. He never turned into anything. But I don't know if that was, he just wasn't as good, or if there was an injury, or, late 80s Chicago. Crack! Was it crack?
Yeah, probably hiding underneath the highway somewhere.
But I do remember him playing for years. He just never really amounted into, what they would thought he would amount into. And that's it for birthdays. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Well, my walk-off, I'm glad you are still doing the show and alive with us. Otherwise, Armchair Quarterback might come to it.
To kill me.
Yeah.
My buddy Forbes asked me, he said, dude, he was asking me about concussion symptoms the next day. I was like, dude, do you know how many times I've been hitting the damn head? Because, I did security and stuff for years. I was like, it's going to take more than a wall to take me out. What I was more concerned about, I was going to break my neck or get my jugular. It was the jugular. The knife was way too close to the jugular. I was like, ah!
No, that's some scary. That's some scary stuff. And on a serious note, I'm glad you're getting better. My other last thing here then is, I know we don't talk about a lot and not a lot of people are interested in UFC, but we got McGregor coming back this weekend. He fights Poirier in round 3. I'm coming right now in round 3. So I'm just happy about that. And to see, because if he doesn't win this one, his career is on the big downside. So be on the look for that Saturday night.
My real quick walk-off is NBA Finals today. Looking forward to it. And then we don't get another game till Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow. Joey's got to run. Joey, we'll see you Saturday morning on the,
have a great afternoon
on the neighborhood play.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette, please.